are using the Arduino Mega instead of the Arduino Uno that we've been using previously. And so it has a built-in liquid crystal display up here. And we just have our potentiometer, our VEX potentiometer, connected to the analog input pin A0, and then our digital pin, which we're using a bumper switch. Our digital pin number is 2. And so we're just going to use a program to write a few lines on the LCD. Okay, so here's the program. It's a pretty lengthy program, but a lot of it is stuff we just have to have. And so our first thing here, we're including our liquid crystal display, and this actually is the new liquid crystal. I want to see if I can access it here, but here on include library, this says liquid crystal. It's actually, this is the one. It's the new liquid crystal, and that's the one we're using, not the regular liquid crystal. But these are just the pins that they are, and since the liquid crystal display that we have on the Mega is hardwired into the Arduino, these pins are going to stay the same for this purpose. And so all that is, it's all the same there. And this is going to be basically like an int or a character or something, but it's called LCD instead. And so now we get to the setup, the void setup. And so this pin mode here, this is our potentiometer, and this is our bumper switch. And so now we're going to initialize the LCD, and so we're telling it like how many lines we're going to use and how many characters we're using. And so we enable our backlight, and then we set the cursor to the home position, which is the top left hand corner of the screen. And so we're just going to print out this text in here, and then we have to set the cursor on the new line that we want, and then print this. And every time you're going to print something on a new line, you have to specify the point that you want it to start writing from, or else it's just going to keep writing on the same line and jump down when it runs out of characters. And so our screen only has four rows, I believe, and 20 characters per row. But we're going to get it to display our analog value from the potentiometer and whether our button is pressed or unpressed. And so that's what we're going to be doing in our loop. And so here we have it reading our potentiometer and our button value, and we want it to read not digital read on the pin so that we can get the positive logic rather than the negative logic. And so here we're just going to set the cursor to where we want our answer to be displayed, and this is just, all this logic here is telling the Arduino to write out what values we want and where we want to put them. And so that's all that we're doing in this loop. And so we're reading values and writing them to the LCD and having them show up. And here we have an if-else loop, and that's going to be displaying whether our button is pressed or not pressed. And that is the whole program. It's really not too tricky, but it's a little lengthier than the ones we've been doing.
So I was having trouble getting the, or being able to see the text when I was using the camera on my laptop, and so I'm using my phone right now. That's why you can see it. But I'm going to demonstrate the program that we were talking about. And so I have my potentiometer, and as you see, the numbers are showing up as I'm turning the potentiometer. I have it connected to a shaft. And so it's all the way, you've got the 1023 there. And so our value's showing up. And then now I have the bumper switch right here. And so currently it's not pressed. And so here I have it pressed, and it switches to saying that the button is pressed. And so that's just a brief program to practice using the LCD with a couple devices.